Hey guys, Justin Godamo here, doing another co-editor lesson, and this is how to animate gunfire when there's a flashlight involved. This is a scene where we have the machine gun firing, and whenever the flashlight is on, that's when there's gunfire. We don't always use a flashlight, but specifically when we use a flashlight, you have to have the gunfire during the flashlight. And so what you do is you look at which picture does not have the flashlight, you leave those ones completely alone. Then you edit the ones with the flashlight, and you right click and edit with GIMP. It's a free program that we use. And GIMP's going to start up here. There's only a couple frames to this particular shot. Usually we do more. You can kind of see how it's going to look in animation. And our job is to edit in the gunfire. So get your magnifying glass. We want to zoom in. We're going to need the sparks brush. So go down here to brushes, right click the spark. We're going to want our brush a couple different sizes for this. We want it slightly bigger than the barrel, but not too big. So it's a little bit of a guess and check. And we just kind of make this outward ball, if you will. And because this is a sideways shot, the gun needs to be shooting outwards. Whereas a front shot, we just kind of make a big round area. We have that, but that looks like a small series of explosions. We're not done yet. We need to use this tool, the dodge burn tool. It's still on the sparks brush automatically. Make sure it's on the sparks brush. That's too big, so we need to shrink it down a bit. There we go. And we just go over this until most of the yellow is gone. There, you can see that. Most of the yellow is gone. Most of it. There's little bits of it, but not much. That's kind of how it needs to be. You shouldn't have a lot of yellow on the edges, but a couple sparks coming out is fine. That's not something you have to really focus on to get. It's just something that will come naturally. And you right click and save, not right click, you go up to the top, file, hit save. And always save it as 100%. Meanwhile, our file is saving. We're going to want our first file again. Here's our first file that we didn't touch. Looks like it's still saving. Okay, there we go. There. Now it's firing. This will have an effect like so. In animation. But we usually don't just do 2 frames because that seems a little redundant. Gunfire's like a snowflake. It's never the same twice. And so here we are in the picture we just did. We go over one. You see the gun went up a little bit. That's from the kickback. We don't fire during the kickback. There's also no light. You go over to the right. You see the light again. We right click and edit with GIMP. Meanwhile, it's opening. There's our new one. Here's our old one. We can close our old one now that it's done saving. We want to zoom in on our gun. We want to repeat the same thing, right? You want to click on the brush. You want to make sure you have the sparks brush, which it remembers that we had that, so it's still there. We make this. What we're trying to go for is kind of a triangular shape coming out of the gun. That takes a little work. That's kind of good, but it helps if you actually shrink your brush down for the next part. Because honestly, whether it's big sparks or small sparks, the sparks are going to be covered up by the white. So the size of your sparks really is not the important part. Having the right shape of a gun shooting outwards, that's what's important. So we kind of have our triangular explosion there, and we click on the dodge burn tool, which is always automatically on the dodge version. We just go over this until most of our yellow is gone. Now this will make whatever we're going over brighter. So, something we didn't do in the last one that might have been useful is to scale it down a little bit for this front part. Otherwise we lose that nice triangular effect that we worked so hard to get because our dodge burn tool is too big. You can hear all the little clicking of my laptop button as I do this. It takes a lot of clicking. But it pays off. It really, really pays off. And doing each picture itself makes our gunfire not redundant. But it's good to make sure your gunfire, you know, keeps that triangular flow. Otherwise it looks kind of weird. You can see that. I'm trying to see if I can make that any easier for you to see. Still got a little bit of yellow in there. Make it a little more white. Get a little more here on top. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually the imperfection of this that makes it what it is. If it was all white, it wouldn't work. And so as before, we click on the save button, hit save, turn it to 100%. You always have to do that. And it saves. And that's how you make gunfire when there's a flashlight involved. Now, let's pretend that no one used a flashlight on this, and that there was no brightness on the mobile suit when the gunfire was going. What you do, this is the third and final step. We don't have to do this right now because, as said, we used a flashlight. But if there was no flashlight, we would be going, remember how I said some pictures, the gun's going to go up? That's the kickback. You figure out which one's not the kickback, and that's the one the gunfire's on. And you try to never make gunfire on a kickback. By the way, you always skip a picture. One picture, kickback, sorry, kickback. Oh, there's our kickback, not kickback. Okay, that's not working. Let's try this again. I need to get back to the beginning. Sorry about that. Okay, here's stationary. It fires, it kickbacks, it fires, it kickbacks. You figure out which one is not the kickback and you animate those, and you always skip one picture in between. If you don't skip a picture, you won't have that nice gunfire effect. It's very important. And so, back to we just edited the gunfire. We're pretending that there is no brightness. And we get our brush. We get the fuzzy brush over here, the biggest one we got. No, I'm sorry, you go to dodge and you have the fuzzy brush. And you make it as big as it goes. And you just kind of draw along the gun and anywhere you think that flash might hit. You don't go crazy on the terrain, just like the head of the mobile suit, the front of the mobile suit in some areas. You would just try and make it brighter because of that flash that's going on. You wouldn't worry about the sides, just whatever's in the front. And this is an artificial way to get the flashlight effect. Like I said, it might be a little over the top right now because we've already done the flashlight effect. So it's a little unnecessary. But, yep, that's how you do gunfire. Thanks for helping. Hope this, if you have any questions, just email me. Catch you later. Bye.